1, 2, 3, 4, 1. If you got the money, honey, I've got the time. We'll go honky-tonkin' and we'll have a time. We'll have more fun, baby, all the way down the line. If you've got the money, honey, I've got the time. There ain't no need to tarry. Let's start out tonight. We'll have fun, oh boy, and we'll do it right. Bring along your Cadillac, leave my old wreck behind. If you've got money, honey, I've got the time. Short of money, then I'll run short of time. You got no more money, honey, I've no more time. If you've got money, honey, I've got the time. We'll go honky-tonkin' and we'll have a time. Bring along your Cadillac, leave my old wreck behind. You've got money, honey, I've got the time. On the road again, just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. And our way is on the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again.
During World War II, a group of soldiers had been on a long patrol. They arrived in a small town called Casino. The next day, being Sunday, some of the boys went to church. After the padre had read the prayer, the text was taken up. The soldiers who had prayer books took them out. But one boy, a young private, produced a deck of cards, and he spread them out in front of him. The sergeant in charge saw the cards and said, "Soldier, put away those cards." After the service, the soldier was put under arrest and brought before the commanding officer. The CO said, "Sergeant, why you brought this man here?" "For playing cards in church, sir." The officer looked at the soldier and said, "I hope you have an explanation. If not, I will punish you more than any soldier has ever been punished. Now, what have you got to say?" And so the boy began his story.
Sir, I've been on the march for 6 days. I had no Bible and no prayer book, but I had these cards. You see, sir, when I look at the ace, it reminds me there is but one God. When I see the deuce, it reminds me the Bible is divided into 2 parts, the Old and the New Testaments. When I see the tray, I think of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Sir, when I see the 4, I think of the 4 great disciples who preached the gospel. They were Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The 5 reminds me of the 5 wise virgins who trimmed their lamps. 5 were wise and were saved. 5 were foolish and were cast out. When I see the 6, I know that in 6 days, God made this great heaven and earth. And the 7 brings to mind, on the 7th day he rested and called it holy. When I look at the 8, I think of the righteous persons God saved when he destroyed this earth. There was Noah, his wife, their 3 sons and their wives. And when I see the 9, I think of the lepers our Savior cleansed. And 9 of the 10 didn't even thank him. I look at the 10, and I think of the 10 commandments God handed to Moses on the table of stone. The king tells me once again there is but one King of heaven, God Almighty. And the queen, our Blessed Virgin Mary, the Queen of heaven. The jack or knave is the devil. When I count the number of spots on my deck of cards, I find 365, the number of days in a year. There are 52 cards, the number of weeks in a year. There are 4 suits, the number of weeks in a month. And there are 12 picture cards, the number of months in a year. So you see, sir, my deck of cards has served me as a Bible, an almanac, and a prayer book.
The charge against the soldier was dismissed. Folks, this is a true story because I knew that young soldier.
Fighting soldiers from the sky, fearless men who jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green Beret, silver wings upon their chest. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 in the Green Beret. Trained to live off nature's land, trained in combat and by night and day. Courage take from a green beret. Silver wings upon their chests. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Back at home, a young wife waits. Her Green Beret has met his fate. He has died for those oppressed, leaving her this last request. Put silver wings on my son's chest. Make him one of America's best. He'll be a man they'll test one day. Have him win the Green Beret.
Space, the final frontier.
I want to tell you all a story about a Hopper Valley widowed wife who had a teenage daughter who attended Hopper Valley Junior High. Well, her daughter came home one afternoon and didn't even stop to play. And she said, Mom, I've got a note here from the Hopper Valley PTA. Well, the note said, Mrs. Johnson, you're wearing your dress is way too high. It's reported you've been drinking and running round with men and going wild. You ought to be bringing up your little girl this way. And it was signed by the Secretary, Hopper Valley PTA. Well, it happened that PTA was gonna meet that very afternoon. And they were sure surprised when Mrs. Johnson wore her miniskirt into the room. She walked up to the blackboard, I can still recall the words she had to say. She said, I'd like to address this meeting of the Hopper Valley PTA. Well, there's Bobby Taylor sitting there, and 7 times he's asked me for a date. And Mrs. Taylor sure seems to use a lot of ice whenever he's away. Can you tell us why your secretary had to leave this town? And shouldn't Widow Jones be told to keep her window shades all pulled completely down? Well, Mr. Hopper couldn't be here 'cause he stayed too long at Kelly's bar again. And if you smell Shirley Thompson's breath, you'll find she's had a little nip of gin. You have the nerve to tell me you think that as the mother I'm not fit. Well, this is just a little Peyton place, and you're all Hopper Valley hypocrites. No, I wouldn't put you on, 'cause it really did. It happened just this way. The day my mama socked it to the Hopper Valley PTA. My mama socked it to the Hopper Valley PTA.
highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his life on my blade. The bastards hung me in the spring of 25, but I am still alive.
I was a sailor, I was born upon the tide. With the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner around the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft to furl the mainsail in a blow. And when the yards broke off, they said that I got killed. But I'm living still. I was a dam builder across a river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide. A place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound. But I am still around. I'll always be around, 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 around. I fly a starship across the universe divide. And when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again. Or I may simply be a single drop of rain. But I will remain. I'll be back again and again and again and again and again.
If ever the devil was born without a pair of horns, it was you, Jezebel, it was you. If ever an angel fell, Jezebel, it was you, Jezebel, it was you. If ever a pair of eyes promised paradise, deceiving me, grieving me, leaving me blue, Jezebel, it was you. If ever the devil's plan was made to torment man, it was you, Jezebel, it was you. 'Twould be better had I never known a lover such as you, forsaking dreams and all for the siren call of your arms. Like a demon, love possessed me, you obsessed me constantly. What evil star is mine that my fate's design should be Jezebel? Jezebel, it was you. If ever the devil's plan was made to torment man, it was you. Night and day, every way. Jezebel, Jezebel, Jezebel.
Living in the city ain't never been my idea of getting it on. But the job demands that you make new plans before your big chance is gone. You get a house in the hills, you're paying everyone's bills, and they tell you that you're gonna go far. But in the back of my mind, I hear it time after time. Is that who you really are? Country boy, you got your feet in LA, but your mind's on Tennessee. Looking back, I can remember the time when I sang my songs for free. Country boy, you got your feet in LA. Take a look at everything you own. But now and then my heart keeps going home. Talking on the telephone, setting up another day of people to meet. You gotta do what's right, you gotta spend the night, staying in touch with the street. When you're surrounded by friends, they say the fun never ends, but I guess I'll never figure it out. 'Cause in the back of my mind, I hear it time after time. Is this what it's all about? Country boy, you got your feet in LA, but your mind's on Tennessee. Looking back, I can remember the time when I sang my songs for free. Country boy, you got your feet in LA. Take a look at everything you own. But now and then my heart keeps going home. Country boy, you got your feet in LA, but your mind's on Tennessee. Looking back, I can remember the time when I sang my songs for free. Country boy, you got your feet in LA. In twilight glow, I see blue eyes cry in the rain. When we kissed goodbye and part, I knew we'd never meet again. Love is like dying younger, and only memories remain. Through the ages, I'll remember blue eyes crying in the rain. Someday when we meet up yonder, we'll stroll hand in hand again in land that knows no part. Blue eyes and rain.
Love's a silver bullet that blows your world apart. I wanna be remembered as an outlaw, honey, the boy who stole your heart. I wanna be the guy who wears the white hat and rides across the plain. Gonna be an enigmatic stranger, honey, you're looking at your shame. Cowboy dreams, cowboy dreams. You give me cowboy dreams, cowboy dreams, cowboy dreams. You give me cowboy dreams. If ever you're in trouble, if ever you are down, I'm gonna be the hanging judge and sheriff, gonna ride your troubles out of town. You're looking at a mountain, you're looking at the law, you're looking at a six-gun legend, fastest on the draw. Cowboy dreams, cowboy dreams. You give me cowboy dreams, cowboy dreams, cowboy dreams. You give me cowboy dreams. I can make you happy, it's easier than it seems. I'm gonna ambush you at sundown, gonna give you cowboy dreams. Yippee-yi-yay, I'm gonna give you cowboy dreams. Love's a silver bullet that blows your world apart. I wanna have it written on my tombstone. Here lies the boy who stole your heart. And yippee-yi-yay, cowboy dreams.
Breaker 19, this here's a rubber duck. You got a copy on me, Big Pen? Come on. Yeah, 10-4, Big Pen, for sure, for sure. By golly, it's clean clear to Flagtown. Come on. Yeah, it's a big 10-4 there, Big Pen. Yeah, we definitely got the front door. Good buddy, mercy sakes alive. Looks like we got us a convoy. Convoy.
It was the dark of the moon on the 6th of June in a Kenworth pulling logs. Cab over Pete with a reefer on and a Jimmy hauling hogs. We was headed for Bear on I-10 about a mile out of Shaky Town. I says, Big Pen, this here's the rubber duck and I'm about to put the hammer down. 'Cause we got a little convoy rocking through the night. Yeah, we got a little convoy, ain't she a beautiful sight? Come on, join our convoy, ain't nothing gonna get in our way. We're gonna roll this trucking convoy across the USA. Convoy.
Now, Breaker, Big Pen, this here's a duck. And you want to back off them hogs? Yeah, 10-4, about 5 miles or so. 10, Roger. Them hogs
time we got into Tulsa town, we had 85 trucks and all. But there's a roadblock up on the clover leaf, and them bears is wall to wall. And them smokies as thick as bugs on the bumper. They even had a bear in the air. I says, calling on trucks, this here's the duck. We about to go a hunting bear. 'Cause we got a great big convoy rocking through the night. Yeah, we got a great big convoy. Ain't she a beautiful sight? Come on and join our convoy. Ain't nothing gonna get in our way. We're gonna roll this trucking convoy across the USA. Convoy.
You wanna give me a 10-9 on that pig pen? Negatory, pig pen. You're still too close. Yeah, them hogs is starting to close up my sinuses. Mercy sakes, you better back off another 10.
Well, we rolled up Interstate 44 like a rocket sled on rails. We tore up all of our swindle sheets and left them setting on the scales. By the time we hit that Chi-town, them bears was getting smart. He brought up some reinforcements from the Illinois National Guard. There's armored cars and tanks and jeeps and rigs of every size. And them chicken coops was full of bears and choppers filled the skies. We shot the line and we went for broke with 1,000 screaming trucks and 11 long-haired friends of Jesus in a chartreuse microbus.
Rubber duck to Sockbuster, come over. Yeah, 10-4 Sockbuster. Listen, you want to put that microbus in behind that suicide jockey? Yeah, he's hauling dynamite and he's all the help he can get.
Oh, we laid a strip for the Jersey Shore and prepared to cross the line. I could see the bridge was lined with bears, but I didn't have a doggone dime. I says, Big Ten, this here's a rubber duck. We just ain't gonna pay no toll. So we crashed the gate doing 98. I says, let them truckers roll 10-4. We got a mighty convoy rocking through the night. Yeah, we got a mighty convoy. Ain't she a beautiful sight? Come on and join our convoy. Ain't nothing gonna get in our way. We're gonna roll this trucking convoy across the USA.
10-4 Big Ten, what's your 20? Oh, my God. Well, they ought to know what to do with them hogs out there for sure. Well, mercy sakes, good buddy. We're gonna back on out of here, so keep the bugs off your glass and the bears off your tail. We'll catch you on the flip-flop. This here's a rubber duck on the side. We gone. Bye-bye.
I was on the outskirts of a little southern town, trying to reach my destination before the sun went down. The old CB was blaring away on Channel 19 when there came a little boy's voice on the radio line. And he said, "Breaker 19, is anyone there? Come on back, truckers, and talk to Teddy Bear." Well, I keyed the mic and I said, "You got it, Teddy Bear." And the little boy's voice came back on the air. "Appreciate the break. Who we got on that end?" I told him my handle, and then he began. "Now, I'm not supposed to bother you fellas out there. Mom says you're busy and for me to stay off the air. But you see, I get lonely and it helps to talk. 'Cause that's about all I can do. I'm crippled and I can't walk." I came back and told him to fire up that mic, and I'd talk to him as long as he liked. "This was my dad's radio," the little boy said. "But I guess it's mine and Mom's now, 'cause my daddy's dead. Dad had a wreck about a month ago. He was trying to get home in the blinding snow. Mom has to work now to make ends meet, and I'm not much help with my 2 crippled feet. She says not to worry, that we'll make it all right. But I hear her crying sometimes late at night. You know, there's one thing I want more than anything else to see. Oh, I know you guys are too busy to bother with me. But, you see, my dad used to take me for rides when he was home. But I guess that's all over now since my daddy's gone. Not one breaker came on the old CB as that little crippled boy talked with me. I tried hard to swallow a lump that just wouldn't stay down as I thought about my boy back in Greenville town. Dad was going to take Mom and me with him later on this year. Well, I remember him saying, "Someday this old truck will be yours, Teddy Bear." But I know I'll never get to ride an 18-wheeler again. But this old base will keep me in touch with all my trucker friends. Teddy Bear's going to back on out now and leave you alone, 'cause it's about time for Mom to come home. But you give me a shout when you're passing through, and I'll sure be happy to come back to you. Well, I came back and I said, "Before you go, 1010, what's your home 20, little CB friend?" Well, he gave me his address, and I didn't once hesitate, 'cause this hot load of freight is just going to have to wait. I turned that truck around on a dime and headed straight for Jackson Street, 229. And as I rounded the corner, oh, I got one heck of a shock. 18-wheelers were lined up for 3 city blocks. Well, I guess every driver for miles around had caught Teddy Bear's call. And that little crippled boy was having a ball. For as fast as one driver would carry him in, another would carry him to his truck and take off again. Well, you better believe I took my turn at riding Teddy Bear. And then I carried him back in and put him down in his chair. And, buddy, if I never live to see happiness again, I want you to know I saw it that day in the face of that little man. We took up a collection for him before his mama got home, and each driver said goodbye, and then they were all gone. He shook my hand with a mile-long grin and said, "So long, Tucker. I'll catch you again." I hit that interstate with tears in my eyes. And I turned on the radio and I got another surprise. Breaker 19 came a voice on the air. "Just one word of thanks from Mama Teddy Bear. We wish each and every one a special prayer for you, 'cause you just made my little boy's dream come true." I'll sign off now before I start to cry. May God ride with you. 10-4, and goodbye.
I was there that day and I saw her cry after Mama Teddy Bear said 10-4 and goodbye. She turned off the old CB and just looked at me. And her heart overflowed and her tears ran free. And the gratitude shone in her face like the sun for all the things those big tough truckers had done. A handful of change and a few dollar bills. But most of all, a little crippled boy's dream fulfilled. I guess I was Mama Teddy Bear's best friend. I lived by her and little Teddy Bear since, oh, I couldn't remember when. And that's why now, before my memory grows old, the rest of the story just has to be told. I'd come over and sit with Teddy Bear while his mama was away and play little games to help him pass the day. Then the afternoons, he'd wheel that chair over by the radio and he'd go on the air. And one by one, he'd break them all. I never knew a trucker not to answer his call. He'd just grin and ask me not to tell his mama, but I was pretty sure she knew what was going on. But time has a way of taking its toll, much too fast. Mama Teddy Bear was growing old. And I watched as the silver touched her hair, but her one aim in life was Teddy Bear. And then I saw another change take place. Little Teddy Bear was slowly losing the race. I knew it, and his mama knew it too. And there was nothing in this whole world either of us could do. He talked less often on the old CB. There were times when he'd hardly talk with me. he took to sitting by the window and watching the road, and the big 18-wheelers rolling by with their loads. And finally he was too weak to get out of bed. And one day he looked up at me and said, "Would you turn on the radio and go on the air and tell all my trucker friends what's happened to Teddy Bear?" Well, the hardest thing I've done in my time was pick up that mic and say, "Break 1-9. This is for all you truckers who care. I'm calling for your little friend Teddy Bear. He says to tell you he misses you all, and he's awful sorry he can't answer your calls." They all came back and joked with me and said they'd catch him later on the old CB. They never did catch Teddy Bear again, 'cause late one night the angel came, and the last thing he said before he died was, "Tell all my trucker friends how I enjoyed the rides." Mama Teddy Bear couldn't tell him, and neither could I, 'cause every time we'd look at that radio, we'd both start to cry. The funeral was preached at the chapel, and little Teddy Bear started on his last ride. As the procession rounded the little city square, the sounds of 100 engines filled the air. The truckers had dropped their trailers back somewhere behind, and one by one, they fell in line. They all tried to comfort Mama Teddy Bear, and it seemed like the warmth of God just filled the air. Slowly they formed a circle around the little grave, and a lot of big men cried that day as they paid their last respects on Teddy Bear's last ride.